3 days after the battle, Emperor Zifkaler sat in his damaged flagship, staring at reports from across his empire. The news was not good. "Emperor," said his communication officer, "we're receiving messages from 17 different systems. The local populations are rebelling against our forces. They heard about what happened at Earth." Zefkaler crushed the metal arm of his chair with his clawed hand. "How did they find out so quickly?" "Sir, the Earth planet somehow broadcast a message to every inhabited world in the galaxy at the same time. The message reached systems that should be impossible to contact directly. On Earth, Jake Morrison stood in the main command center, reading similar reports. But these reports made him smile instead of angry. "Captain," Dr. Lisa Grant called out, "we're getting communication requests from over 300 worlds. They all want to talk to us." Commander Amy Walsh looked up from her station. "What kind of requests?" "Requests for help, mostly. Worlds that have been conquered by various empires. They want to know if we'll help them become free." Jake turned to Admiral Ben Carter. "Ben, what's the status of our ability to project power beyond Earth?" Ben consulted his instruments. "With the full planetary awakening, we can extend our influence anywhere in the galaxy. The planet can fold space to appear instantly wherever we're needed." Jake nodded slowly. This was the decision that would change everything. Earth could stay, hidden and safe, or it could use its power to help others. "Open a channel to the galaxy," Jake ordered. "Full broadcast." Lisa worked at her controls. "Channel open, Captain. Every inhabited world in the galaxy will receive this message." Jake took a deep breath and began to speak. "People of the galaxy, this is Captain Jake Morrison, representing the planet Earth and humanity. 3 days ago, the Zephyrian Empire attacked our world, expecting easy conquest. Instead, they discovered that Earth has spent 2 centuries preparing to defend itself and others. Around the galaxy, billions of different alien species stopped what they were doing to listen to the message from the mysterious planet that had defeated the Empire. We are not interested in building an empire or conquering anyone," Jake continued. "But we will not stand by while others suffer under the rule of tyrants. Any world that asks for our help in gaining freedom will receive it. Any empire that tries to conquer innocent people will face the consequences." The message ended, but its effects were immediate. On the conquered world of Theta Prime, a species of peaceful farmers had been enslaved for 50 years by the Empire. When they heard Earth's message, they looked up at their alien overlords with new hope. On the industrial world of Kepler Station, workers who had been forced to build weapons for the Empire began to refuse their orders. Across the galaxy, the oppressed began to believe that freedom was possible. Emperor Zefkaler received reports of rebellions on dozens of worlds within hours of Earth's broadcast. "We have to stop this," he told his remaining admirals. "Send fleets to put down the rebellions." But when his ships tried to reach the rebelling worlds, they found something waiting for them. Earth was there, not the physical planet, but Earth's influence. Gravitational fields that could crush warships. Electromagnetic pulses that could disable entire fleets. Dimensional rifts that could send attacking forces to empty regions of space. On the planet Raxis 7, Imperial forces were preparing to bomb civilian cities when their weapons suddenly stopped working. Above the planet, space itself seemed to bend, and the alien warships found themselves unable to move or fire. A new voice came over their communication systems. "Imperial forces, this is Commander Amy Walsh of Earth Defense Command. You will withdraw from this system immediately. The people of Raxis 7 have requested our protection." Similar scenes played out across the galaxy. World after world gained their freedom as Earth kept its promise to protect those who could not protect themselves. In the command center on Earth, Jake was coordinating with teams around the world and throughout the galaxy. The planetary network that connected all of humanity now extended its influence across thousands of light years. Status report, Jake asked Amy. 47 worlds have been liberated in the past week. We've disabled over 2,000 Imperial warships without destroying them. The crews are being held safely until they agree to return home peacefully. Any word from other empires in the galaxy? Lisa looked up from her station. The Andromedan Collective and the Crystal Dynasty, both, sent messages. They want to negotiate. I think they're afraid they might be next. Ben walked over with a data pad. Jake, we're getting requests from freed worlds to form some kind of alliance. They want protection, but they also want to help other worlds gain freedom. Jake considered this. Earth had never wanted to rule anyone, but maybe they could help. Create something better than the old system of empires. Set up a meeting, Jake decided. Representatives from all the freed worlds. Let's see if we can build something new. 2 weeks later, delegates from over 100 worlds gathered on Earth. It was the first time in. Emperor Zeph Collar stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the blue planet that had trapped his entire fleet. His yellow eyes burned with rage and fear. In 3,000 years of conquest, nothing like this had ever happened to the Zephyrian Empire. How many ships have we lost? He demanded. 47 vessels have been completely disassembled, my Emperor, reported his tactical officer. The crews are alive, but held prisoner on the planet's surface. Another 100 ships are badly damaged by gravitational forces. And the rest? Trapped, sir. We cannot move beyond the range the planet allows us. On Earth, the awakening was spreading to every corner of the world. In cities around the globe, ordinary people were starting to notice changes. Streetlights flickered in strange patterns. Electronic devices showed unusual readings. The ground itself seemed to hum with hidden energy god, but in secret locations, trained operators were connecting to the planetary network that had been built over 2 centuries. In a hidden base under New York City. Technician Carl Mason monitored power flows from the Earth's core. His instruments showed energy levels that were off any normal scale. This is amazing, Carl whispered to his partner, Linda Ross. The planet is generating power like a star. We've got enough energy to do anything. Above them, the normal life of New York continued. People walked to work. Traffic moved through the streets, and nobody knew that their city was now part of the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. In the main command center in Denver, Dr. Lisa Grant was coordinating with similar bases around the world. Each location controlled a different aspect of Earth's defense system. Captain, Lisa called to Jake Morrison, we're getting reports that the alien emperor is preparing something big. Our sensors show massive energy buildup on his flagship. Commander. Amy Walsh looked at her tactical display. What could they have left that's more powerful than quantum torpedoes? Admiral Ben Carter pulled up classified files on his computer. Intelligence suggests they have something called a planet killer, a weapon that can destroy entire solar systems. Jake felt his stomach tighten. Can Earth handle something like that? Lisa's fingers danced over her controls as she consulted. With teams around the world. The Australian team thinks we can, but we'd have to go to full awakening. Complete planetary integration. What does that mean? Jake asked. It means Earth stops pretending to be a normal planet, Ben explained. Every human on the planet becomes part of the defense network. Every city, every building, every road becomes part of the weapon system. We become one unified organism. Jake looked around the command center. This was the moment they had always known might come. The choice between remaining hidden and revealing Earth's true nature to defend itself. Do it, Jake ordered. Around the world, hidden transmitters began broadcasting a special signal. Every electronic device on Earth received the message at the same time. Computers, phones, televisions, even simple radios all displayed the same text. Citizens of Earth, this is Captain Jake Morrison of Earth Defense Command. Our planet is under attack by alien forces. Do not be alarmed. Follow the instructions. Now appearing on your devices. You are about to become part of Earth's defense system. In living rooms and offices around the world, people read the instructions with amazement. Touch your device screen. Place your hand on any electronic surface. Think about protecting Earth. Help your planet fight back. At first, people thought it was a joke or a movie promotion. But when they followed the instructions, something incredible happened. Sarah Blake was sitting in her apartment in London when the message appeared on her television. She touched the screen as instructed, and suddenly she could feel the entire planet. She could sense the alien ships above Earth. She could feel the power flowing through the planet's core. She was connected to every other human on Earth. In Tokyo, mechanic Dave Chun placed his hand on his computer and immediately understood how to direct Earth's gravitational fields. In Snow Paulo, teacher Nancy White found herself able to control electromagnetic pulses. In Cairo, Dr. Frank Lee discovered he could manipulate tectonic forces. All across Earth, 8 billion humans suddenly became operators of the most advanced weapon system ever created. In the Denver Command Center, Jake watched in amazement as his instruments showed the planetary network expanding exponentially. Lisa, what's happening? Every human on Earth just became part of our defense grid, Lisa said with wonder in her voice. The planet's processing power just increased by a factor of 8 billion. Above Earth, Emperor Zeph Keller was preparing his ultimate weapon. The planet killer was a bomb that used dark matter to create artificial black holes. It had destroyed 17 star systems. Arm the planet killer, Zeph Keller commanded. I don't care what this world can do. Nothing survives total annihilation. The weapon powered up on the Emperor's flagship. Energy readings climbed to levels that could rip apart the fabric of space itself. On Earth, every connected human felt the approaching threat at the same time. 8 billion minds working together analyzed the weapon and understood what it could do. In living rooms around the world, ordinary people found themselves operating Earth's defense systems. Grandmother Helen Price in Kansas controlled orbital mechanics while changing her baby grandson's diaper. Teenager Mike Stone in Australia directed quantum field manipulations while finishing his homework. Farmer Joe Miller in Iowa channeled energy from Earth's core while feeding his cattle. Planet killer weapon launching, Amy reported from her station. Impact in 30 seconds. Jake felt the collective will of humanity flowing through the planetary network. Every person on Earth was focused on one goal: protecting their world. Counterattack. Authorized, Jake said. Full planetary response. What happened next had never occurred in the history of the galaxy. Earth opened a hole in space itself. Not the small gravitational distortions it had used before, but a massive dimensional rift that stretched across thousands of miles. The planet killer weapon disappeared into the rift as if it had never existed. Then Earth did something that terrified the aliens. The rift reopened in the space next to the Emperor's flagship, and the planet killer weapon emerged, but traveling in the opposite direction. Earth had turned the Empire's ultimate weapon around and sent it back at them. Impossible, screamed Emperor Zeph Keller as his own planet killer weapon streaked toward his ship. But the weapon never reached the alien flagship. Instead, Earth opened another dimensional rift and sent the weapon somewhere else entirely. Through their long-range sensors, the aliens watched in horror as their planet killer appeared in the Zephyrian home system, 300 light years away. The weapon detonated in empty space, far from any inhabited world, but close enough that every planet in the Empire could see the explosion in their night sky. Emperor, reported the communication officer, were receiving messages from the home system. They want to know why we just fired a planet-killer weapon near the capital. Zeph Collar stared at Earth with new understanding. This planet had not just defended itself. It had taken his most powerful weapon and sent it home as a message. On Earth, Jake opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. Emperor Zeph Collar, this is Earth. We have just demonstrated that your most powerful weapons cannot harm us, but we did not destroy your ships or kill your people. This should tell you something about who we are. The Emperor's voice came back, shaky with fear. What do you want? We want you to return to your empire and tell them what you learned here. Earth is not interested in conquest, but we will defend ourselves and others who cannot defend themselves. The galaxy is big enough for everyone to live in peace. Around the world, 8 billion humans remained connected to their planet's defense system, ready to protect their world from any threat. The age of galactic empires was about to end, and the age of Earth's protection was about to begin. The quantum torpedoes launched from the alien ships like burning stars. Each one carried enough power to split continents and boil oceans. Admiral Krixvoth watched them streak toward Earth, certain that this would end the strange resistance from the primitive planet Dot in the Earth Defense Center. Alarms filled the air. Dr. Lisa Grant's voice was tense as she called out readings from her instruments. Quantum torpedoes incoming. Impact in 90 seconds. Energy signatures are enormous, Captain. Jake Morrison looked at Commander Amy Walsh. Amy, it's time. Amy nodded and placed her hand on a red button that had never been pressed before. Terra Protocol Phase 2 authorized. All stations prepare for full planetary awakening. Around the world, in hidden bases buried under mountains and deserts, thousands of humans sat at control stations. They had trained for this moment their entire lives. In the Amazon jungle, operators monitored energy flows from the Earth's core. In Antarctica, teams controlled gravitational field generators. In the Sahara Desert, massive machines that could bend space itself waited for commands. Amy pressed the button dock deep inside the Earth. Something incredible happened. Machines that had been sleeping for decades suddenly roared to life. The planet's rotation began to change in tiny ways that only the most sensitive instruments could detect. Earth was waking up. The quantum torpedoes were now 60 seconds from impact. But as they got closer to Earth, strange things began to happen to them. Their straight paths started to curve. Invisible forces were pulling them off target. What's happening to our weapons? Demanded KRIX-Voth. His weapons officer stared at his instruments in confusion. Sir, the torpedoes are being affected by gravitational anomalies, but the readings don't make sense. The gravity fields are coming from the planet itself. On Earth, Lisa was coordinating with teams around the world. Australian station reports gravitational lensing is active. Brazilian team confirms magnetic field amplification is online. Arctic base says rotational energy capture is at full power. Admiral Ben Carter watched the main display as red dots showed the incoming alien weapons. But now those dots were moving in circles and spirals instead of straight lines. It's working, Ben said with amazement in his voice. The planet is actually grabbing their weapons. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. For 200 years, humans had been building Earth into a weapon. But seeing it work for the first time was almost frightening. Their planet was doing things that seemed impossible. The quantum torpedoes, designed to destroy worlds, were now spinning helplessly in gravitational fields that Earth created around itself. Like flies caught in a spider's web, the powerful weapons could not escape. Then Earth did something that made everyone gasp. The planet absorbed the quantum torpedoes completely. Not just their energy, but the weapons themselves. They vanished as if they had never existed. The energy from those world-killing weapons flowed into Earth's power grid. In the alien fleet, panic was starting to spread. "Emperor," called the science officer to Zeph Color, "our most powerful weapons just disappeared. The planet somehow consumed them." Emperor Zeph Color's yellow eyes glowed with rage. "Impossible. No planet can do what you describe." "Sir, our sensors are detecting massive energy movements inside the planet. It's like the whole world is one giant machine." On Earth, the awakening was accelerating. Jake could feel it in the air around him. The command center hummed with power as Earth's systems came fully online. "Captain," Amy reported, "we now have control of gravitational fields, electromagnetic radiation, tectonic plate movement, and quantum field manipulation. The planet is ready for offensive operations." Jake took a deep breath. Earth had moved beyond defense. Now it could attack. "Lisa, target the closest alien ships. Let's show them what a planet can do when it fights back." Lisa's hands moved over her controls. On her screen, she could see the alien fleet arranged around Earth. She selected the 10 ships closest to the planet. "Targeting complete, Captain. Gravitational lance ready to fire." Fire. What happened next had never been seen before in galactic history. Earth's magnetic field focused into a beam, but instead of electromagnetic energy, it carried gravitational force. The beam reached out from Earth like an invisible hand and grabbed the 10 alien warships. The ships, each one bigger than a city, were suddenly pulled toward Earth at incredible speed. Their engines screamed as they tried to resist, but they might as well have been trying to fight a black hole. "Admiral, we're losing ships," reported Krixvoth's tactical officer. 10 vessels are being pulled into the planet's gravity well. We can't break them free." Krixvoth watched in horror as his ships accelerated toward Earth. But just before they would have crashed into the planet's surface, something even stranger happened. The ships stopped. They hung motionless in the air above Earth, held there by forces that the aliens couldn't understand. Then, one by one, they began to come apart. Not explosively, but gently, as if invisible hands were carefully taking them apart piece by piece. "Those ships are being disassembled," whispered the alien weapons officer. "The materials are being sorted and stored." On Earth, Amy was coordinating the operation. Useful metals and technology are being collected. The alien crew members are being placed in containment fields. No casualties. Jake nodded approvingly. Earth was not just defending itself. It was being smart about it. Every alien ship contained advanced technology that could be studied and useful materials that could be recycled. Emperor Zeph Collar finally understood that this was not a normal planet. "All ships retreat to maximum range. We need to analyze what we're facing." But when the alien fleet tried to move away from Earth, they found they couldn't. Lisa smiled as she watched her instruments. Gravitational field extended. The alien fleet is now caught in Earth's gravity well. They can't escape. The planet had created an invisible cage around the entire alien fleet. 500 of the most advanced warships in the galaxy were now trapped by a world they had thought was defenseless. "How is this possible?" Krixvoth asked his science team. "Admiral, we think the entire planet has been converted into a single massive weapon system. Every part of it, the core, the continents, the oceans, even the atmosphere, works together as one giant machine." In the command center, Ben was reading reports from around the world. "Jake, we're getting confirmation from all continents. Every system is operating at full capacity. Earth is now running as a unified defensive platform." Jake looked at the display showing the trapped alien fleet. Hundreds of ships that had conquered worlds across the galaxy were now helpless prisoners of the planet they had tried to attack. "What are your orders, Captain?" Amy asked. Jake thought for a moment. "These Aliens had come to conquer Earth and enslave its people. But now they were trapped and defenseless. What should Earth do with them? Open a communication channel to the alien fleet, Jake ordered. When the channel was open, Jake spoke clearly. Admiral Krixvoth, this is Captain Jake Morrison. Your fleet is now under Earth's control. You came here to conquer us, but instead, you have learned something important. Earth is not defenseless. We have been preparing for this day for a very long time. Krixvoth's voice came back, filled with fear for the first time in his military career. What do you want from us? We want you to go home and tell your emperor something, Jake replied. Tell him that Earth will defend itself and any other world that asks for our help. The age of galactic empires built on conquest is over. We are here now, and we will not allow it to continue. Deep inside the planet, Earth's awakened systems pulsed with power, ready to enforce humanity's will across the galaxy. Admiral Krixvoth stood tall on his ship's bridge as Earth filled the main viewing screen. The blue planet looked peaceful and defenseless. He had seen this same scene hundreds of times before on other worlds. Open a channel to the planet, he ordered his communications officer. Time to make our demands. Down on Earth, in the hidden command center, Jake Morrison watched as alien signals reached their receivers. Lisa Grant worked quickly at her computer to translate the incoming message. I've got it, Captain, Lisa said. The message is coming through now. A harsh voice filled the command room, speaking in broken English that the aliens had learned from intercepting Earth's old radio signals. People of the third planet, I am Admiral Krixvoth of the Great Zephyrian Empire. Your world now belongs to Emperor Zeph Kaller. You will surrender immediately. Lower any defenses you have and prepare to serve the Empire. You have one of your hours to comply. Jake looked around the room at his team. Admiral Ben Carter shook his head grimly. Commander Amy Walsh cracked her knuckles. Ready for action, Dr. Lisa Grant waited for orders, her hand hovering over the controls that could activate Earth's hidden powers. What's our response, Captain? Amy asked. Jake walked to the communication station. He had practiced this moment many times, but his heart still beat fast as he prepared to answer. Earth's response would change everything. Open a channel back to them, Jake said calmly. The message went out from Earth to the alien fleet above. Jake's voice was steady and clear. Admiral Krixvoth, this is Captain Jake Morrison representing Earth. You have entered restricted space without permission. Withdraw your fleet immediately, or face the consequences. This is your only warning. On the alien flagship, Krixvoth laughed when he heard the message. His officers joined in the laughter. The idea that this primitive world would threaten them was amusing. Did you hear that? Krixvoth said to his crew. They think they can threaten us. These humans have no idea what real power looks like. Emperor Zeph Kaller, watching from his throne, was not amused. I don't have time for games, Admiral. Show them what happens when someone refuses the Empire. Back on Earth, Lisa was watching, her instruments carefully. Captain, I'm detecting energy buildups on several of their ships. I think they're preparing weapons. Are we ready to show them what we can do? Ben asked. Jake nodded. Lisa, activate Terra Protocol Phase 1. Let's give them a small taste of what Earth can do. Lisa's fingers moved across her controls. Deep under Earth's surface, massive machines began to turn. The planet's magnetic field, which normally protected Earth from harmful space radiation, began to change. Magnetic field manipulation online, Lisa reported, targeting the closest alien ships. Fire, Jake ordered quietly. What happened next? Surprised everyone, including the people on Earth who had built the system. The planet's magnetic field focused into a tight beam and shot toward the alien fleet. It looked like invisible lightning crossing space in a split second. The beam hit 3 alien ships at once. Their shields flickered and went out. All their electronic systems stopped working. The ships went dark and began drifting helplessly. On the alien flagship, alarms started ringing everywhere. "Admiral, 3 of our scout ships just lost all power," reported the weapons officer. "What happened to them?" "Unknown, sir. Some kind of electromagnetic pulse, but stronger than anything we've seen before. Our sensors can't figure out where it came from." Krixvoth studied the readings, confused. "Are you telling me this primitive planet somehow disabled our ships?" "The energy signature is unlike anything in our databases, sir." On Earth, the command center was quiet for a moment. Then Amy smiled. "Well, that got their attention. They're powering up more weapons," Lisa reported. "Looks like they didn't get the message." Jake sighed. He had hoped the warning would be enough. "Ben, what's the status of our global defense network?" "All stations report ready, Captain. Every continent is online. The power grid is stable, and we have full connection to the planetary core systems." Above Earth, Emperor Zefkaller was getting angry. "Admiral, I want that planet conquered now. Use whatever force is necessary." "Yes, my Emperor." Krixvoth turned to his weapons officer. "Target their largest cities. Use plasma bombardment. Full power." The alien ships began to glow as they charged their most powerful weapons. Beams of superheated plasma shot down toward Earth, aimed at New York, London, Tokyo, and other major cities. The aliens expected to see explosions and destruction that would terrify the humans into surrender. Instead, something impossible happened. As the plasma beams reached Earth's atmosphere, the sky began to glow with a soft blue light. The deadly energy weapons hit an invisible barrier and were absorbed completely. Not only did they cause no damage, but the energy was captured and stored by Earth's defense system. "Impossible," whispered Krixvoth, staring at his instruments. On Earth, people in the major cities saw the sky light up like a beautiful aurora. Most thought it was some kind of natural phenomenon. They had no idea they had just witnessed their planet eating alien weapons for breakfast. In the command center, Amy was grinning. Atmospheric absorption field working perfectly. "We just stored enough energy to power half the planet for a month." Jake allowed himself a small smile. "I don't think they were expecting that." Emperor Zefkaller was no longer bored. He stood up from his throne, his face twisted with rage. "What kind of world is this? How did they stop our bombardment?" "Emperor, our sensors are showing impossible readings," reported the science officer. "The planet itself seems to have absorbed our weapons' fire. But that's not scientifically possible." "I don't care what's possible," the Emperor snarled. "Use the quantum torpedoes. Those can crack the crust of any planet." Back on Earth, Lisa's instruments were going crazy. "Captain, they're charging something big. These new readings are off the charts. Can our defenses handle it?" Ben asked. "I don't know," Lisa admitted. "But I think we're about to find out what happens when Terra Protocol goes from Phase 1 to Phase 2. Jake looked around at his team. These people had spent their whole lives preparing for this moment. Earth had been quietly building its defenses for 2 centuries, waiting for the day when aliens would find them and try to conquer their world. "Everyone ready?" Jake asked. "Ready, Captain," came the replies from around the room. "Then let's show them why picking a fight with Earth was the biggest mistake they ever made." Above them, the alien fleet prepared to fire weapons designed to destroy entire continents. Below them, a planet that had been pretending to be helpless was about to wake up and show the galaxy what humanity was really capable of. The real battle was about to begin. The year was 2387. Earth looked like any other blue planet from space. Green lands, white clouds, and deep blue oceans covered its surface. To anyone watching from far away, it seemed like a simple world with people who barely knew how to fly. between planets. But Earth was not what it seemed. Deep under the city of Denver, Captain Jake Morrison sat in a chair surrounded by glowing screens. The room was huge and filled with machines that hummed quietly. This was the Earth Defense Center, a place that most people on Earth did not even know existed. Jake was a tall man with short brown hair and serious eyes. He had been watching space for threats for 15 years. Today felt different. The machines were picking up something big coming toward Earth. "Captain, we have movement," said Dr. Lisa Grant from across the room. She was a smart woman who understood the secret technology that protected Earth. Her fingers danced over the controls as numbers and images filled her screen. "What do you see, Lisa?" Jake asked, walking over to her station. 500 ships. Maybe more. They're coming from the outer edge of our solar system. Big ones, too. Military-class vessels. Jake felt his heart beat faster. For over 200 years, Earth had been preparing for this day. The day when aliens would find their hidden world. On the other side of the galaxy, Admiral Krixvoth stood on the bridge of his massive warship. His skin was gray and covered in scales. His eyes were yellow and cold. He had conquered over 300 worlds for the Zephyrian Empire. "Admiral, we have reached the target system," said his second-in-command. "The planet looks primitive. Our scans show basic technology only." Krixvoth smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Another easy victory. How many inhabitants?" "About 8 billion. They have small cities and simple machines. No real weapons that we can detect." "Perfect. The Emperor will be pleased. We can strip this world of its resources and sell the inhabitants as workers." Krixvoth turned to look at the blue planet on his main screen. "It's almost too easy." Back on Earth, more people were gathering in the secret command center. "Admiral." Ben Carter arrived first. He was an older man with gray hair who had spent his whole life preparing Earth's defenses. Behind him came Commander Amy Walsh, a woman with red hair who controlled Earth's hidden weapon systems. "How long until they reach us?" Ben asked Jake. 6 hours, maybe 7, Jake replied. "Their ships are big, but not very fast." Amy looked at the screens showing the alien fleet. "Are we ready for this?" Lisa turned from her computer. "The Terra Protocol has been active for 3 days now. All systems are online. The planet is ready." Ben nodded slowly. Terra Protocol was Earth's greatest secret. For 2 centuries, humans had been building something incredible. They had turned their entire planet into a weapon. Not by covering it with guns or missiles, but by connecting every part of Earth into one giant defense. System. The planet's core had been changed with special technology. The magnetic field around Earth could now be controlled. Every mountain, every ocean, every piece of land was connected to machines that could channel Earth's natural power into devastating attacks. Most people on Earth lived normal lives. They went to work, raised families, and enjoyed their days. But some knew the truth. Hidden under cities and in secret bases, thousands of humans worked to keep their planet ready for the day when aliens would come. Emperor Zefkalar sat on his golden throne aboard the largest ship in the fleet. His empire controlled 12,000 star systems. Millions of different alien species served him, either by choice or by force. He was used to easy victories. "My emperor," said a messenger who bowed low, "Admiral Krixvoth reports that the target planet will be reached soon." "Good. I want this world added to the empire quickly. My ships need fuel, and my armies need new workers." The emperor looked bored. He had heard this same report thousands of times before. Back in the Denver command center, alarms began to ring. Softly, Jake looked at the main screen and saw the alien ships getting closer to Earth. "They're slowing down," Amy reported. "Looks like they're getting ready to surround the planet." "Any communication from them?" Ben asked. "Not yet, But I think that's about to change, Lisa said, pointing at her screen. They're powering up what looks like a communication array. Jake took a deep breath. In all the preparation and training, this moment had always seemed far away. Now it was here. Aliens had found Earth, and they clearly had bad intentions. Everyone to your stations, Jake ordered. This is what we've been training for our whole lives. Remember, they think we're just a primitive world. Let's keep it that way, as low as we can. The people in the command center moved quickly to their positions. Each person controlled a different part of Earth's defense system. Some watched the skies, others controlled the power flowing from Earth's core, and still others prepared to wake up weapons that had been sleeping for decades. Outside, normal life continued on Earth. People went to work, children played in parks, and nobody knew that their planet was about to become the center of the greatest battle in galactic history. The alien fleet moved into position around Earth like hunters surrounding prey. 500 massive ships blocked the sun and cast shadows on the ground below. But the aliens had made a terrible mistake. They thought Earth was helpless. They were about to learn that they had found the most dangerous planet in the galaxy.